I'm very excited to introduce to you the next guide, Fecund Maiden. I've been waiting for this collaboration. I think since the pandemic, really, I'm a big fan on TikTok and Instagram of Fecund's work. Um, Dancer, movement extraordinaire, Tantra yoga instructor, pleasure coach, truly a gift to this world and so generous. And also, as Brittany says, they don't give a fuck. So, welcome. Welcome, Fecund. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Amy.
And there we go.
Okay, so my camera will turn off on Zoom whenever I start the presentation, but in the recording, should it be released, you will see my camera guiding us today. How's everyone doing? Good. Are we still feeling that movement high from the first two sessions? Great. We got babies in the house. I'm so honored to be here and really thankful to share tantric self-practice. Whenever you type in Tantra into, say, TikTok, you're going to see a lot of couples, which is good for them. But this tantric experience and presentation is made for the self or for any single sluts out there. I want to go ahead and put a disclaimer in the beginning of this that the word slut is a very intentional choice on my behalf, and that this may be a beautiful introduction for you to explore what that word has meant for you in your life so far. But today it is a word that we are reclaiming in a positive, unapologetically sexual and sensual way. Also, you are going to see some really sexy pictures of me in this presentation because I live this work. So I'm happy to go ahead and start this Canva presentation. Let me start sharing my screen on Zoom. So hello, everyone. This is Self-Seduction for the Single Slut. I will be guiding you back to a solid self-care practice that focuses on pleasure so that your erotic needs don't slip through the cracks. As Amy introduced me, my name is Fecund Maiden, but you can also call me Tanisha. I primarily teach belly dance and Tantra yoga on TikTok and YouTube. So this is my avatar. If you see me online, please give me a follow. Please give me a subscribe. I am deep into the internet scene when it comes to belly dance or yoga. I primarily teach on TikTok and YouTube, but feel free to follow me on Facebook. I don't use Facebook the most, but anywhere in the realm of internet possibilities, I would love to connect with you. First on our agenda, we're going to be doing some play work. And I actually picked this up from Donna Mejia, not calling things homework because it feels like a punishment. And instead, we're going to be focusing on 5 themes today. And these things are themes that you should play with instead of feeling like you have to do homework on it. First, we're going to start off with what is seduction, what is self-seduction, what is the definition of seduce. Then we're going to move into why self-care and why self-care is the most important component to the art of self-seduction. Next, we're going to talk about love languages and the variety of love languages that you can have according to your relationships and the season of your life that you're in. We are going to shed light on what is already working in your self-care routine, in your love languages, and in your approach to seduction. And then we can end with tools talking about what our new routine is going to be like, incorporating elements of self-seduction, pleasure, romance, and magic. What is self-seduction? This is a good place to start because so far I've come across a lot of students who may have a distorted view on seduction and the erotic. And in my opinion, To seduce simply means to attract or entice. Whenever I was doing my research and doing a lot of definition checking, they were all incredibly highly sexual, but they don't have to be. And for example, the one I've tagged here is she seduced her husband to take out the trash, even though he was already in bed. So sticking to elements of seduction and what seduction means and what it means to attract or magnetize or entice, I want to invite you to play with the idea that seduction is a natural component of nature and we see it everywhere. And it's not, for most of the part, most time, it is not sexual. For another example, the way that the flower and the color of the flower and the perfume fragrance of the flower seduces bees or seduces insects to it. This is an important part of the flower and the bee's natural, primal need to exist and survive. So I want to encourage you and love on you that when you're practicing attraction and you're practicing magnetism, that this is a natural component of your being. Now, we're gonna move to some sexy pictures, and I'm going to use my own life as an example of what I'm attracting and enticing into my experience. In this top left-hand corner, I have my ideal partner listed. I am a single slut. Although not everyone in this workshop is single, that's totally fine. But I'm in a season of my life that I'm attracting this ideal partner. And I also want to point out in all of these pictures that I'm going to use as examples, all of these pictures are people that look like me. So this man is Black, and I would like a Black partner. That hand looks like my hand. Those nails look like the nails I would do. This watch, that's a very sexy watch. I would hope that my ideal partner has class and taste like I do. In this bottom right-hand corner, this is not a picture of me, but this is a picture of a type of robe that I would wear. This is exactly how I would do my hair. And I believe that's an important part of your practice and self-seduction, is to become aware of the things that already exist in other people's lives or the things that you see on social media that feel like they could be yours. They look like they could be yours because they can be yours. I would like to be pampered in the form of gift giving in a very specific type of relationship. And romantic relationships, I favor gift giving and physical touch. And in these photos, I made it very clear that I was going to show examples of gift giving gifts that I would like. Yes, I would like a Dior bag, Cartier bag, and some roses, and physical touch in the form of hand holding at a restaurant. I'm also attracting beautiful experiences into my life, like this one, but more specifically, travel, because I really miss traveling. So why self-care? Why is self-care so important to magnetizing and enticing your dream life, but also your desires? Self-care is a non-negotiable, and we do all practice self-care in different ways. Your self-care could only be, I get up in the morning, I take a shower, I eat breakfast, and that's fine. But for people that want a really juicy, sexy, erotic life, your self-care is pretty much the key to manifesting those things into reality. So for example, we all may take a shower, but I need curly hair products. If I don't have my curly hair products, I feel real whack. I feel out of sync. I don't feel attractive. I don't feel like I want to entice. I don't feel magnetic. I want to hide away. I want to keep my hair in a do-rag, and I want to talk to anybody. So thinking of your self-care practice, what is obviously a non-negotiable things that you practice every day, but what could take your self-care practice to the next level that makes you feel even more glamorous, that makes you feel even more well loved on and well taken care of? These are going to be really important to be honest with yourself. And this is a good invitation to do some shadow work on how have I been caring for myself? Have I been giving myself the bare minimum food, rest, shower every once in a while? If so, that's okay. Write it down. And if you desire more out of your self-care practice, this is the time in your life to introduce it, especially in regards to what you're attracting. So using myself as an example again, my skincare routine and makeup routine is incredibly important to me. I used to have cystic acne whenever I was a teenager, and I always remember thinking to myself, oh, when I'm all grown up and I have the money to like invest in my skin, I'm going to do it. And now this is a practice that means so much to me that I didn't even realize would mean so much to me, that now that I have done the shadow work to acknowledge this was something I was once really insecure about. And now I am in a season of my life that I can specifically take care of this. And going forward, it's not something that I'm going to drop or abandon anymore. Physical recovery, this person is getting massage. Again, I just want to point out to you, this person looks like me. All of these people look like me because I see myself in the pleasure that they're experiencing. So physical recovery for me, I am a professional dancer, so I want massages. I want an abundance of electrolytes and amazing food, high protein, tons of rest. Financial devotion, specifically in my business, I want to belly dance at a restaurant and come home with tips looking like this. A big stack of cash. It makes me feel so good and it makes me feel really safe that I can make an abundance of money and take care of myself. Also, I'm very big on TikTok and YouTube, as we've already talked about. So my self-care routine as far as my business and being a content creator is more about being consistent with my content, constantly being with my business, with my content, with my self-care and skincare routine, but also pampering myself in the process. This is an act of preserving or improving your health. So when we think about health, we have all different sectors of health: your physical health, your mental health, your financial health, your business or career health, your family health, the family dynamics. And all of these are equal. They are not on a hierarchy. They're not on a pyramid. And at the bottom is your family health, making sure that everyone in your family is taken care of and that you're at the top with a very small percentage for your mental health. All of these are equal baskets and they're all connected to each other. So moving into our love languages in life and looking at our self-care in different areas of our lives, we can become aware that our love languages are different when it comes to our different relationships. And you deserve to have variety of your love languages being met in all of these different areas of your life. Your love language can change according to what season of your life that you're in or your current needs. So for example, in romance, I would prefer physical touch, gift giving, and quality time. In business, I would prefer acts of service, quality time, and words of affirmation. But let's say when it came to friendships, I would rather have words of affirmation, quality time, and physical touch. I have left the link for the 5 love languages quizzes.com. And I would encourage you to take this test multiple times, maybe at least 5 times. 1 for your romance. Go through the entire test, only thinking about romance. What would I rather have? Then get your results, write them down in your notes, in your shadow work journal, or in your self-pleasure practice journal. And then go back through the test, and we're going to only talk about business. In business, what do I want? Would I rather have someone tell me I did a good job, or would I rather have someone acknowledge me in the form of a gift? And go through the test again, only in business. And for each sector of your life that you have, no matter the quality, if it's already going great, if it's already going fantastic, still take this test in regards to that area of your life. Because that is going to give you the tools to find out what is already working and what's not. And it's important to think about these things with as much compassion and as little judgment as possible. So when we're talking about our self-care routine, what do I need? Your needs are not going to be the same as anyone else's, even if you're a twin, even if you're married. You and your partner are going to have different needs. You in each season of your life are going to have different needs. When we're honest with ourselves about our needs and we don't feel guilty for wanting our needs to be met, they can be fulfilled. Then when we're honest about our love languages and what we need to be shown as far as love and support and care, we can ask for help in a more easy and direct way. And then when we have these tools and we know what we need and we know how we need it to be met, we can see if there's any holes or any energetic leakages in our lifestyle or in our self-care routine that has left us feeling bitter, angry. Those emotions are your tool. Those emotions are your best friend, because when you feel yourself being angry or feeling bitter or feeling burned out, that is a big red flag to you and to you only, saying that, have you actually asked for help? Have you thought about what love language you need to feel like this need is going to be met? Is there any hole in your self-care routine or in your lifestyle that has made it easy for this energetic leakage to pester and get bigger until you finally realize it? So moving on to how we can incorporate this in a new routine, a new self-care routine, a new lifestyle that involves seduction and magnetism. For me, with the same examples, I am prioritizing my skincare and my time and my makeup routine going forward. I have a whole playlist, much like Amy's awesome playlist for today. I put on my Beyonce or my belly dance music. And when that music comes on, everyone in this house knows not to interrupt or open this bathroom door, because that means I'm doing my skincare routine or I'm doing my makeup. And that is a sacred time that I have in the past let it go. I've kind of been inconsistent, but going forward, this is a priority and a non-negotiable. And I've made it clear and communicated to people in my life that this is a sacred time, so don't interrupt me. When it comes to body recovery, one of my greatest desires is to be eating better quality food and drinking more water. I can have all the massages I want, but if I don't feel like I'm nurturing my body with food, that was a really big hole in my self-care routine, because I would belly dance my butt off. I would do all this yoga and teach all these classes, many hours of exercise. And yeah, I would take an Epsom salt bath. That's a cute thing, but I would still feel depleted. And so when I still felt burnt out, I said, whoa, Tanisha, we need to rewind. Something is missing. And I've come to the conclusion that that is my food and how I've been eating. Third, for this example of my new self-care routine involving seduction, this one brings up a lot of shadow work for me, especially around finances. I understand logically that my financial health, which is an important part of our self-care routine and our health, cannot blossom and be as fully juicy if I don't weekly budget. So it does not matter if I want to make a big stack of cash like this from belly dancing, if I can't budget it and if I can't nurture it and I don't know where any of that money is going. So back to budgeting, this is something that in the past made me so uncomfortable to talk about. And I know that I grew up in poverty. I know that financial scarcity was a big area of shadow work for me. So even though my weekly budgeting schedule still makes me uncomfortable, to be quite honest, I fucking hate doing it. It makes me so anxious at times, but that act of love, that no matter what happens, no matter how annoyed I am, at 3 p.m. on Sundays, I give myself an hour to go through my budget and to look at all my finances and to do this weekly budget. My financial health is so important to me that I will get over feeling for 15 minutes uncomfortable so that I can build this muscle of consistently working on money so that I can live luxuriously. I truly deserve that. And lastly, creating a filming schedule is incredibly important to staying consistent and making consistent content. And in the past, I would just rely on inspiration and be like, oh, okay, well, when I'm feeling inspired, I'll make content. And that's great. And that will get you far enough into being an online content creator. And then you get to the point that you don't feel inspired and you don't want to go to work. And I still go to work. Why? Not because I'm in the mood, not because it immediately feels pleasurable right now, but because I know that when I build up this consistency, it results in my end goal. And that brings up another topic: immediate gratification or long-term gratification. Which one do we want? And it's okay if you want both. It's okay if you want neither. It is totally fine if in the moment you want to eat a taco. I want tacos for dinner tonight. I'm going to make sure we get tacos for dinner tonight. That's valid. That is sacred. Listen to that. But also, if you want an abundance of money in 6 months and you keep ordering DoorDash all the time, which one do you want more? Do you want tacos right now? Are you going to spend it on DoorDash right now? Or are you going to save that money that you would have spent on DoorDash? Instead, give yourself an extra hour in the day to make the tacos yourself and still get to have tacos and still get to have money in the future. I hear something. Amy, do we have a question? Okay. Amy, is there any question?
We're good.
Okay.
No, so far so good.
Okay, great. So going back to our filming schedule in my own life, I may not want to wake up and film 5 TikToks and teach a yoga class and also be consistently present on social media platforms. But what I do want is the success of my business and for my art to reach as many people as possible. So even though it doesn't feel necessarily comfortable right now, it's something that I'm willing to do as a form of self-care that allows me to have my end result and my end goal. This slide is really important, and I really want to address the idea of seeing yourself in the pleasure. So far, all of these pictures have been people that look like me or people that I can see myself living their life. And the reason that is because I 100% believe the glamour magic of all of this is incredibly important. We are talking about seduction. We are talking about the erotic. We are talking about divine magnetism. And at times that can be very sensory focused. How does it feel? How does it smell? How does it feel on my skin to enjoy self-care routine or my skincare routine? How does it smell, that stack of money that I make from dancing? Incorporating the senses is going to hyper speed your ability to stay in a mode of seduction while also attracting these things to you. So in my phone, in my cell phone, I have a photo album, and it's titled Everything Comes to Me. And I did not intend to make this photo album. It just kind of happened, where I would save like pictures of clothes that I want. Like, you know, Instagram would target me with an ad and they really got me, and I would see this dress and I'm like, oh, that's such a cute dress. Let me screenshot it. And then I went through my camera roll and I started to notice that I would pick up all of these visuals and all of these pictures of the things that I desired, all the way from clothing to seeing people in the exact restaurants that I wanted to eat at. And this not only started to train my mind to be aware of pleasure in the world and how much I deserve it and how much other people are abundantly experiencing the exact form of pleasures that I want. But when I had decided to actually make the photo album and title it Everything Comes to Me, and intentionally build up the photo album, I started unapologetically searching for the pleasure. I would go on Instagram with the intention to find things that lit me up. So every time I would go to my explore page and I would see women getting pampered at like a massage, I, instead of feeling burnt out or jealous at seeing that, you know, I would go, oh my goodness, that looks so juicy. And I know I can have it because the universe just showed it to me. So instead of training yourself to basically have evil eye anytime you see someone enjoying something that you want, this practice shows you your own shadow work. And it is okay if you feel jealousy or if you notice that you've thrown some evil eye onto someone. But I want to remind you that that's yours. That's not theirs. They still get to enjoy all the things that you're looking at them on Instagram through. It's your work to do when you notice any form of, I can't have that, or I can't find that, that's not for me, no men my age are good, or yeah, they can travel, but it's such a waste of money. Any of those little shadow voices, that's your work to do. It's not their work. So instead of feeling jealous and feeling scarce and feeling like you can't have it, I encourage you to step into, I can have it, and here is proof that I can have it because I see someone else experiencing and enjoying the exact thing I want. And when I started doing this, I have, I think, well over 6,000 pictures in my phone, which probably sounds crazy. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm always on social media, so I naturally have a lot of pictures and videos in my phone, but specifically for the photo album, that is my vision board, essentially. I have over 6,000 videos and pictures of things that other people have experienced that I desire, in combination with these really beautiful, sexy pictures of myself. So when I take a sexy selfie and I feel like I look so hot and I look so good and I'm so beautiful, I will also put those pictures in the photo album. That's training my mind to recognize when I'm feeling pleasure. For example, the photo that I have posted here is me at the end of a yoga class that I was teaching. And I'm definitely on that movement high that we're all vibing on. And I'm smiling so big. And I rarely ever get any pictures of myself after teaching a yoga class. So when I captured this picture and I saw myself, I really looked at this picture and was like, wow, this should be my normal. This shouldn't be an extra little special treat that I get to experience every once in a while. And since collecting pictures of myself enjoying pleasure, pictures of me smiling with my friends, pictures of me eating at an amazing restaurant, pictures of things in my life and in the lives of others that I see on social media occupy the same space. With that practice, I have blurred the lines of which of these things are actually my life and which of these things are other people's lives. So going back to some examples, I rarely see a difference in people that I desire and people that I admire and adore and my life. When I see this picture under weekly budgeting, this is the rapper Saweetie, by the way. I really see no difference between me and Saweetie. Saweetie is an amazing rapper, a phenomenal businesswoman, a CEO. She's so sexy. She's so magnetic. She's so fun. And I see no difference between her and I. If I ever saw Saweetie in the streets, I'd be like, Saweetie, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Like, we're so similar. We could be friends. We could hang out. And when I see people making really phenomenal content online, instead of being like, well, you know, maybe she could have had a better ring light or better lighting, and maybe her audio is blah, 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 blah. Instead, I see, I remember when I had a crappy mic, but I'm so glad I have a really good quality mic now, because making content is really important to me and having good audio is important to me. So instead of seeing any separation or any difference between me and these people, I instead see a reflection of myself, either a reflection of myself in the present moment, a reflection of myself in the past when maybe I wasn't taking as much care of myself, and I see a reflection of my future self that doesn't have those things right now, but soon enough and shortly enough will have them in the future. So when you take this hack, take this little life hack of mine, this tip of creating either a vision board or a photo album and putting in pictures of yourself looking happy, yourself enjoying pleasure, yourself when you went to the beach with your family or had that amazing date, and combine it with pictures that you're seeing online, it almost feels like you are training the universe to show you proof that you can have it. So I have this theory, and this could be because I spend so much of my time on social media. The universe is an algorithm. And the more we teach the algorithm, the real algorithms of Facebook and Instagram, but also the universe, the more that we teach the universe the things that we want to see, the more it curates it for you, the more it serves it to you on a silver platter, the more it says, yes, you can have it, and here are the steps to getting it. So this is incredibly important, and it's probably the most important component of all of this entire conversation, is the glamour magic of it all. You are seducing the universe with your love and with your trust and with your yes, I can have it-ness, to showing it to you more, but also giving you opportunities to actually physically manifest it more. So incorporating this glamour magic is incredibly important. That's why I wanted to spend a lot of time talking about this, because ultimately your self-care practice is going to be your self-care practice. It really has nothing to do with me. What you eat don't make me shit, basically, is what I'm saying. So when you have perfected and given so much love and attention and care to your self-care practice, you've done your shadow work, and you are attracting the things that you want, and you're seeing them more often, and you're also allowing yourself to find everyday pleasures. If that's having an immaculate cup of coffee in the morning, savor that. If that is rooting for your friends online because they did something amazing or it's someone's birthday, savor that. Give them thanks for showing you that things can be pleasurable and things can be easy, and that you can also have it. So in the end, I'm a little bit early, but I do want to open up dialogue for conversation. I would like to mention, before I give you guys the way to follow me on social media, is that I would like to invite you to take some time today to write out a list of glamour magic or attraction magic or goddesses of beauty that you look up to. For most people, this is Aphrodite. We love Aphrodite. I love that she's always naked. I love that her tits are always out. I love that she's always like just combing her hair with a seashell or whatever, playing with a baby or something. I absolutely adore that. And more specifically in my life, I practice African traditional religions. So I look up to Orisha Oshun, who is also an Orisha, or a goddess of love and beauty and dance. And I encourage you to find your spiritual guides who represent the archetype of what you want to embody. And this can be actual goddesses like Goddess Lakshmi of the Hindu religion, representing fortune, abundance, being rich, being beautiful. Goddess Radha in Hindu religion, which represents divine love, divine union, marriage. Or this could be someone who was actually a human being, like Marilyn Monroe, which is so funny. I just said that. I had a dream last night that I was hanging out with Paris Hilton. And Paris Hilton and I follow each other on TikTok. And so I've already magnetized her energy into my life. And I remember having a dream last night that I was talking to Paris. And of course, she was all done up, glamour, makeup, hair, bodyguards. And we were just chatting. And I remember telling her that I really looked up to Marilyn Monroe because Marilyn Monroe had the power of presence. If Marilyn walked into a room, everybody, men, women, children, dogs, noticed it. And I remember there's a quote from Marilyn Monroe in which she says that she can basically turn on that energy. She can go out into the streets and act as if she's not Marilyn Monroe. No one bats an eye. No one looks at her. No one turns their head and goes, oh, look at this person. And then she could just instantly snap into her Marilyn Monroe persona. All of a sudden she's stopping traffic and people are running into walls because they were not paying attention to where they were walking. And so in my dream last night, I was telling Paris Hilton that I really admired how Marilyn Monroe could just become it. And my favorite thing about that is that she can turn it off too. When she doesn't want to be that, she can turn it off and she can go home and take off all that makeup and put her hair back in the rollers and go back to being herself, which I really admire. So I encourage you to think about the people in your life, maybe your mother or your parents or your grandmother, who taught you about beauty, who taught you how to put on your first little tube of lipstick, or other people that you've seen in pop culture or in social media that remind you of the archetype that you will have to become in order to seduce everything into your life. So lastly, before we open up to questions, this is how you can get in contact with me. TikTok is my main shebang. I love TikTok. You can reach out to me and follow me on TikTok, but specifically if you have a question, because I want you to feel so reassured that after you get off of this call today and you integrate everything, and maybe in a week or two, you have a question, that you can reach out to me, and hopefully maybe Amy and Brittany will see if you have consent to reach out to them too. But I want to make sure that you know that you are doing a really brave thing by being here and taking such an intimidating workshop, Self-Seduction for the Single Slut. And I want to give you the tools to get in touch with me and explain the difference in our communication. So if you have a question that you believe could be answered publicly, you feel comfortable having this question answered publicly, or you believe that other people hearing the answer would be really beneficial, ask it to me on TikTok, because the chances of me answering that question in the form of a video so that other people can see it is going to be really high. Second, if you have a question, but you don't necessarily want others to have the answer or for it to be shared publicly, message that to me on Instagram. Instagram is probably the best way to get in contact with me directly. I love reaching out to people in the DMs. I find the DMs are very intimate. So if you have a question for me, but you don't want me to publicly share the answer, message me on Instagram. And if you get to the point you're like, girl, I don't want to follow you on no social media, but you still want to ask me a very direct question and I give you a direct answer, then I'm going to leave my email. All of these are Fecund Maiden. You can type in Fecund Maiden to anywhere on your social media platforms and find me. But if you don't want to follow me on social media or engage in social media at all, I recommend sending me an email. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for allotting an undivided amount of time to give back to yourself. You deserve this. It is your natural state of being to be a magnetic person. And I want to leave you with this truth that you do not have to get up off your throne to have any of this stuff. You can stay in a state of pleasure and relaxation. You can stay on your throne and all of these things can come to you. You don't have to do any action. You don't have to overwork yourself or try to prove to anyone that you're worthy of it. You can simply be enough and it can come to you. Thank you. Thank you. And let's look at this chat. I totally believe in the law of attraction. Yeah. Yeah, it works. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up to the top. Yes, Fecund, love seeing the notes mode. It's not full screen. Yeah, I could not make it full screen for some reason. I didn't have any notes for y'all to peep in anyways, because I'm just a talker. I can talk. So thank you for bearing with me. In the recording, we're going to edit it so that in the recording, it will be completely full screen and you won't have to do any small screen stuff. Yes, Canva and Zoom do not jam together. Let's see. Jade, is it Jade or is it Jade? You can unmute yourself. They say, I have more than that. Women don't apologize for 6,000 pics, gorgeous goddesses, and amazing belly dance gear. Hell yeah, I have the same. I have so many belly dance costumes saved in that photo album. Basically, if I see someone on Instagram and they're wearing a costume that I think would look good with my body type or it's in a color, screenshot immediately. And I like their photos, by the way, don't be a creep and don't be extractive about it. But I will like their photo. I will comment, damn girl, you look so good. And then I'll save it because I can have that too.
I never thought of making an album of it all though.
What was that?
I never thought of making an album of it though and putting myself in with it. And like that's just connecting that. Like, oh
yeah. So I learned about myself in this process that I'm not that big of a vision board girly. Don't know why. For this year in 2023, whenever I was thinking about all the things I wanted to manifest, I made a Google Doc that had everything typed out, like very logical. So under self-care routine, it would say more time doing skincare, sacred space when I do my makeup, make sure that I'm eating great food and drinking enough water. But then in my photo album in my phone, I would actually have the pictures saved of someone eating at a 5-star restaurant or someone getting a back massage. So yeah, I agree. It's very powerful. And then I made a practice of looking at that photo album when I meditated, when I first woke up in the very morning and before I go to sleep, because that is when your subconscious is the most primed and able to absorb this information. So every night before I go to sleep, not every night now, because I've gotten a lot better at it, but for many months, I'm talking about 3 months before I went to bed every night, I would look at this photo album and bask in the joy that it automatically gave me. And going back to the law of attraction, I'm not sure if you guys are into the Abraham Hicks thing, but we love Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks, they mentioned that when you find the joy and the satisfaction in waiting for the manifestation, it can get to you sooner. So for example, let's just say there's a belly dance costume I think is so cute. It's in my favorite color. I revel in the joy that I find just seeing a picture of it. I don't own it yet. I haven't ordered it yet. I'm reveling in the pleasure and the satisfaction that I've seen it, because it's that good of a belly dance costume.
That's like the same as, what are these called? These little icons above your that you can customize. It'd be like, so I always repost in my stories. Everything I see that I'm like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. I repost it in my stories. Like everybody else should know how awesome this thing is. And
yeah, so like your avatar,
yeah, essentially. Those would be like boards. Are those avatars? No, they're like storyboards, almost like storyboards.
Okay.
At the top, you could just put it on your social media too. It's almost like a
yes. Yes. And speaking of social media, incorporating this glamour magic into your social media presence has been really impactful for me. I didn't even know I was doing it. So yes, if you see a belly dance costume, you think it's so sexy, you tell whoever is wearing it, girl, you look so good. You comment, you post it to your story. That becomes a part of your energetic essence. It becomes a part of your social media presence to show people these images of beauty and love and richness. Yes. Yeah, and it becomes a part of your essence. So let's see, we still have some more comments that I haven't gotten to yet. Now this is a direct message to me talking about any in-person stuff, workshops and stuff. So I will address that in the very end. Okay, totally believe in the law of attraction. We've got some energetic archetypes. So does anyone have an archetype that they really look up to, a goddess or anyone that's actually lived that they believe is going to be important to them embodying in the future? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. Because I actually did not realize that Paris Hilton and I would have so much in common. So before I wrap this up and answer any questions about how to get in touch with me personally, Kuan Yin, she's so soft. Anytime I hear the voice of Kuan Yin, because I'm an Aries rising and a Sagittarius sun, I have a lot of fire and I can be really direct. And so sometimes when I'm being a little bit too fiery, I hear the softest voice of Kuan Yin in my ear saying, tone it down, be more compassionate. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was too much. But back to Paris, I grew up Black, obviously. I grew up in poverty, single mom. And I remember whenever I was not in my attractive, I can have anything essence, I would look at people like Paris Hilton or the people that were born rich and celebrities and be like, fuck you, girl. Like, I don't understand you. Like, I don't like you. But then something in me shifted, one, to realize that like, that's Paris's life. That's Paris's destiny. And that's not my destiny. And it's okay. I can still have everything I want without living that life. But also, the more that I found myself being worthy of those things, worthy of being rich and worthy of being successful and beautiful and a businesswoman and just an amazing person, I was like, you know what? Paris and I can be friends because we're the same. So what is this, Queen Herbie? That's awesome. My real life inspiration would be my grandma. That's amazing. I learned that she was quite the business badass, always so beautiful. Her home was glorious and bougie. And these are incredible, iconic photos that I have saved. Yeah. And also shedding light onto our family and the people that have taught us what pleasure is, what beauty is. This may also be something I've picked up from Donna Mejia, but recognizing your heritage outside of your genetic heritage, so your dance heritage, your yoga heritage, your beauty heritage. Maybe at the time when you were a kid and you were watching your grandma be so badass, you didn't notice that she is a pleasure ancestor of yours. So that's awesome. Okay, let's see. 50-year-old skin on Rouge Star Beauty. Okay, I love that. Thank you. Have you been to Seattle Erotic Art Festival? I haven't. I would love to find out more about that. I am an erotic art curator under the many titles that I have. It's usually not the first one I introduce, because being a Tantra teacher is like enough for some people. So I will check that out. Thank you for letting me know. Beautiful presentation. I believe that setting intention and it coming to fruition. Yes. And also finding pleasure and continuously setting that intention, setting that intention, setting that intention. You get a little ding from the universe, you're getting closer, keep setting that intention, and then all of a sudden it does actually come into the physical reality. Baby steps. Okay, so for this direct message, I'll message this person back individually. Cami Little skincare line. Oh, really? Ooh, let me find out. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. So how is everyone feeling after having this conversation? Good. I know that this can be sometimes activating for shadow work. Inspired, that's great. Inspired again, boom, boom. Y'all are on the same vibe. I want to hold space that in the future, maybe in a week or 2 weeks, if you start having shadow work come up, it's an important and necessary part of this process. You can't really even dabble into Tantra without doing the dark and the light. So if you have instances come up that really stand out to you more than they have in the past, accept those and know that your courage and your bravery to decide to be in a workshop like this is what's going to help you deal with that shadow work. You can deal with those shadows. In fact, you should integrate and love on those shadows, because they're the key to actually making these things manifest. You can visualize all you want, but until you do the inner work and you actually feel worthy, they can't get to the physical realm. They always stay in the imagination realm. Oh, I wish my daughter was here to see this. Oh my goodness. That's so, oh, that makes my heart light up. Like, thank you so much. And feel free to, connect your daughter to any of my social media outlets. And maybe when we decide if this is going to be released in recording, I would love for your daughter to watch it. Yeah, definitely inspiring. You made it so down to earth with some powerful, practical tools. Great. That's my intention. I feel like a lot of manifestation or magic or even Tantra and seduction work can stay in the imaginary, and it's almost like all I can do is dream about my desires. I can never have them, but you can have them now in the physical. See it, taste it, touch it, you can have it. I absolutely will. Awesome. I wish my daughter was here for this too. Oh my goodness, I love that. And that's also generational healing right there. So shout out to you, moms. I love that. Okay, I'm going to close this chat. I believe Nikki is finally in the Zoom call, and I'm so excited to see her grace us with her beauty and dance. Thank you, guys. Mwah.
Wow. I knew it. Thank you so much. I wrote down a couple notes. It was interesting how you're seeing yourself neither better or worse, but where you were at that time. I think a lot of times you don't want to feel, you don't want to make people, you don't want to be better than someone, but rarely do you think the other way. I think I try to stay in a lower vibration of that, so that was pretty inspiring. And then seeing you the universe as your partner and teaching your partner the universe how to care for you. I think I'm a little bit smaller sometimes, where I think to myself, I'm still fighting a lot of religious trauma too, but I wait to receive what the universe, but I don't know if I've ever felt so powerful that I would be like, okay, universe, let me tell you how to care for me. But I sure am that way with my boy friend. I am all the time. I'll tell them exactly how to care for me. So that is interesting, because I automatically am like, oh, don't tell the universe. You know what I mean? Let the universe tell you.
Do I have permission to ask for my needs directly? Yes, you do. It's your birthright.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I can walk away per se, but I at least could be more communicative with that. I really loved that.
Yeah.
And what you eat don't make my shit.
Yeah, what you eat don't
I
make
don't
me
know
shit.
if I've ever heard that. Don't make me shit. Yeah, I really loved that. I really loved that. Thank you so much for that session. That was amazing.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, what we're going to do now in this moment is we are going to take a 10-minute break. Before we come back, we are going to enjoy a closing circle together. We are going to thank the elemental spirits at play and send them on their way. And then we are going to be receiving a very special performance from Nikki today. So 10 minutes at the 125 for me. I'll see you back here, and we'll get some extra treats. See you soon.